On Saturday morning, alarm clocks have gone off and people from the youngest to the oldest have crawled out of bed to come together and remember.
We're really enjoying it that the Santa Train is back this year to celebrate it with our grandchildren. It's just the memories. And my children, they're grown and they still love it also. It's just something you never forget.
Many here saying thank you to Santa and all the people on his train. Noteworthy because the Santa Train actually began as a way to say thanks to them, to the people who live along the railroad.
A group of local business leaders in Kingsport just thought it would be a nice thing to ride the regular Clinchfield passenger train on the Saturday at that time after Thanksgiving from Elkhorn City, Kentucky to Kingsport and throw off candy from the rear with one of the guys dressed up in a Santa suit. And that's it.
It really was that simple. But to understand why those businessmen did it requires a little context. The year was 1943. America was mired in World War II and still reeling from the reality that this Christmas, a lot of families would be separated by war.
The nation, while united in the efforts against the Axis enemies in the war, it was kind of must have been a collective funk, a morale issue.
In Kingsport, Tennessee, late 1943 found downtown business owners anxious to do something to help and to say thank you to the people who rode the passenger train from the coalfields to Kingsport.
This was the place that they wanted to come, they wanted to visit, they wanted to spend their money.
That Kingsport business community knew that many of their best customers earned their living the hard way, digging coal out of the earth, coal that in many ways was the fuel firing the American war effort.
They have the hard work. Now, they made pretty good money, but they have terrifically difficult work, and we need to show our appreciation for that.
For all those reasons, they thought, why don't we just find one of the fattest guys in our little business group, which predated the chamber, and get a Santa suit and put him on the rear of the regular passenger train and try to do something worthwhile and positive. That's all it was.
The plan, while a bit zany, was pretty simple. November 27th, 1943, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, they'd gather up all the toys and all the candy they could find, load it onto a train, haul it northwest into the coalfields, and then give it all away.
And they would ride the train up the day before, and they actually slept on the train that night. They would stay in Pullman cars on the train, and then they'd get up the next morning and make the trip down.
Early on, a key business supporter was the Oakwood Supermarket, based in Kingsport.
Everybody wanted to have a connection to the train and to the area that the train served.
Early on, it actually wasn't called the Santa Train. Early photos show for decades it was called the Santa Claus Special. About a decade after the tradition began, the luxurious Clinchfield 100 car was brought in to be Santa's car at the end of the Santa Claus Special.
Clinchfield 100 was built in 1911 for the Atlantic Coastline Railroad. My family would take me out and we would go and see it come in. Yeah, you never forget something like that.
This remarkable recording shows the Santa Train as it rolls into Kingsport after it's run through the Kentucky and Virginia coalfields in 1969. Home video from the Virgil Q. Wax collection, now living at the East Tennessee State University Archives of Appalachia. Wax was a Southwest Virginia entrepreneur and host of a weekly program that aired on local TV stations, including WJHL. His footage, donated to ETSU by his family, offers a fascinating glimpse into what the Clinchfield Santa Claus Special looked like more than 50 years ago. And it shows the Clinchfield 100.
It's just unbelievable how it's kept on going over the years.
But by the early 1980s, the Clinchfield 100 was no longer on the Santa Train. It was sold into private hands and over the next 30 years deteriorated to the point it was destined for destruction. That is, until the Watauga Valley Railroad Museum found it, purchased it, and restored it.
We wanted to put it back just like it was, and and let people enjoy it and see it. And we had no idea it was going to be the Santa car, but it worked out that way.
In 2019, the Clinchfield 100 returned to the Santa Train route. Mike Tilley says he and others couldn't have been more proud, and they hope that one day the car will ride the rails on the Santa Train once again. For many years, the Santa Train was a regional tradition, known mostly just to people who lived along the tracks. But then, a reporter's curiosity changed everything.
He brought it to a national audience, and that's when it really became a big deal, a big deal.
Video not aired in decades shows the moment the Santa Train became an international fascination.